Yo, seeing guys, welcome back to a brand new video, and here today I'm bringing you the Ultimate Spider-Man 8-part series. Now I say 8-part series, that's because, well, this series isn't 8 parts, but it's all included in this one video, quite obviously. There will be 8 episodes in the series. There will only be 8, not 13 like the regular Spectacular Spider-Man episodes. This is a Spectacular Spider-Man continuation, but it's a little bit shorter as it's Miles Morales, and this is the story I wanted to tell, and I don't like doing many fillers, as you guys would know. So, the Ultimate Spider-Man is going to be 8 episodes long, and I hope you enjoy the video. Tell me what you think in the comments below, and yeah, enjoy the video. So the first episode is called Legacy, and this is a direct reference to, obviously, Miles carrying the name Spider-Man after Peter Parker's death in Season 6. Miles has to repair the name Spider-Man, and the reputation after the Superior Spider-Man left it with a bad name. Miles still uses the red and blue costume, however. He is put in a council house and is tight on money since most of his family has passed away, including his uncle and his father last season. Miles decides to stop a few crimes, however, an ad is put out for the capture of Spider-Man by Silver Sable and S.H.I.E.L.D. Episode 2, The Wrong Spider. Miles starts back up school, but because of his previous criminal background, he has no friends and is pretty new. This is also because of his trust issues that were discussed last season. Miles feels like he doesn't fit in, so distracts himself with Spider-Man by taking down a small Shocker-like villain in The Wrath, aka Thomas Hunter. Miles messes up a few times before getting him though. However, wherever Miles goes, the city boos him and throws things in his direction, emphasizing the hate the city has for Spider-Man after the things that Peter Parker did last season. After the takedown of the Wrath, Sable hires Agent Venom, aka Flash Thompson, who had gone through military training, now working with S.H.I.E.L.D., to hunt him down. Spider-Man was Flash's hero, and Flash has trouble coping with taking him in. Sable sees this weakness in Flash, and Flash has to prove himself to Sable that he is a worthy soldier. Sable finds out that Spider-Man is actually Miles Morales and isn't a reincarnated Peter Parker, although however likely that may be. They let him go, but they say if they catch him being Spider-Man again, or carrying the name, or even wearing the costume again, they will kill him. This is because the name Spider-Man has become a great name of fear within the people of New York City. Episode 3, Alone. The start of this episode reveals that S.H.I.E.L.D. are starting to work on getting more soldiers like Agent Venom. They have been proven to take down people like Spider-Man, like Miles, and ever since the betrayal of Spider-Man, they need soldiers to protect the city from threats like an eventual Sinister Six again. It is also revealed that Venom, the symbiote, never actually died in the previous seasons. Although it has been weakened, it was never fully destroyed, and this allowed Sable and S.H.I.E.L.D. to control it. Miles starts to feel the effects of being alone. He hasn't got an uncle anymore, he hasn't got a father, mother, everyone has left him, even Peter Parker. He is so alone, he tries so hard, and the only people he really has is anyone at school and also MJ, but MJ is busy with other things and trying to cope with Peter's death as well. But Miles feels like everyone is against him, he tries so hard to find something he loves. So later that day, Miles is in school and he finds a love in foreign languages due to his Hispanic heritage, taking a little diversion from the comics and his interest there. I'm basically making a little twist on Miles and my version of the character. Miles finds a friend in Spanish class called Anya. They connect over the fact that they both learn Spanish, however Anya is much more fluent than Miles. Anya starts to help Miles study, and we start to see a lot more Miles' trust issues dissipate as Anya steps more into Miles' life. Miles starts to become more confident because of this fact as well. Miles starts to stop low-key crimes like store robberies, etc., as he feels like he needs to be useful anyway, but can't be too much on Silver Sable's radar. Episode 4, Bloodshed. In this episode, we find out more about Anya and her backstory. We find out that her father was killed by the Superior Spider-Man, and she hates Spider-Man and always will hate him because of this fact. Superior Spider-Man was in fact going after Anya's father because her father was in some shady business, which Peter Parker clearly did not like, or just Otto Octavius in general. This will heavily focus on Miles' and Anya's relationship and them growing as people in this episode. We will also see Miles carry on taking down low-key crimes. Miles has to deal with a villain called Bloodshed who was fired by his employers, but due to some information he holds, the employers want him dead. Bloodshed goes on a rampage by killing his employers and eventually to anyone else who stands in his way. Miles decides this is not right and has to take him down, and does, and sends him to the police. But he does this on the low-key as the city still hates Spider-Man and can't really be seen with the red and blue costume which he still wields. Episode 5, Circus Dreaming. Miles and Anya develop as characters more in this episode. Miles plans on asking Anya out and does. This is the happiest Miles has ever been in this season and last season as well. A pattern emerges in his life. Whichever side of his life is happier, the other side, whether that be Spider-Man or Miles, will be negatively affected, and he notices this. Miles and Anya go on a date to the circus in town. One of the acts is from a guy known as the Ringmaster. However, the Ringmaster turns out to be a criminal high on Sable's list. He uses powers of hallucination to take everyone hostage as he robs everyone. Miles decides it doesn't matter what Sable has said and needs to intervene. He does, but Sable and Agent Venom show up at the scene. Just before Miles was about to stop the Ringmaster, Sable takes out Miles. Anya is also hurt in the crossfire and is mad at Miles for leaving her alone, and Miles is taken in by Sable. This episode is now left on a cliffhanger for episode 6. Episode 6, A Day Without Spider-Man. Sable was going to kill Miles before Flash convinces her not to. Sable's opinion of Flash decreases a lot. However, Flash is the man with the most knowledge of the Venom symbiote and his abilities, so there is nothing she can do about him being Agent Venom, although there is a rift created between these two characters at this point in the series. Miles is released but is put on home surveillance as they come to a compromise. Sable does not want this kid going out into the crossfire and obviously carrying the Spider-Man name just as much as Miles may like to, and obviously carry and respect the legacy of Peter Parker. Miles' life takes a dip. Anya got hurt and is in the hospital and she's annoyed at Miles. Sable keeps intervening. The city still hates the name Spider-Man because of what Peter did. Life just doesn't want him to be Spider-Man anymore. Miles takes a break in this episode and Spider-Man won't appear at all. It'll be a very character-central episode. Miles makes it up to Anya and apologizes, yet he can't reveal he is Spider-Man to Anya because she hates Spider-Man and so does the city. So Miles has to make up some excuse, just like how Peter did to all of his girlfriends. Miles takes the time to visit MJ for once and for advice. MJ tells Miles about her new baby though, and that she is a girl, and she wants to call her May after Peter's aunt, so May Parker. Miles tells MJ why he wants to give up as Spider-Man, and MJ tells Miles that she understands him, but that Peter faced the same problem multiple times, but never gave up no matter how much hate he got from Jameson or the city in general. Episode 7, Symbiote City. S.H.I.E.L.D. start heavily experimenting on the symbiotes for more Agent Venoms. It is revealed that they have produced a mechanical hormone which allows the symbiote to reproduce faster, in minutes if need be. This is for the soldiers. It goes wrong and the symbiotes aren't as controlled as Venom. They take over S.H.I.E.L.D. and start raiding the city. S.H.I.E.L.D. created the very thing they feared would happen due to their own desperateness. Miles is hesitant to get involved, however, after all of the past events. Miles finally decides that he can't give up after everything Peter had taught him, after what MJ said, and even if the city hates him. But the city hates the red and blue suit. Miles wants to create a new icon for Spider-Man, something fresh and new, something that doesn't hold the negative connotations. Miles wants to become his own Spider-Man, not be a better Peter Parker. This is represented through him pulling out a version of the red and black suit that he'd been working on ever since the end of Season 6. Spider-Man, now in red and black, swings out into the city. Sable was about to get crushed by a piece of rubble, and Miles saves her. Episode 8, Spider-Man Reborn. This episode is the second parter, and the second part to the cliffhanger of the Symbiote City arc. Miles is finally Spider-Man. After the entire series, after everything that has happened, he has finally come to terms with himself. He can't give up. He is Spider-Man. Spider-Man is finally reborn, but as Miles Morales, and he will live the name in his own way. He teams up with Sable and Agent Venom and S.H.I.E.L.D. to take down the rest of the symbiotes and shut the project down. These guys all become friends now and are now mutual with each other, leaving each other alone. Sable now puts trust in Miles after saving her life and says he can be Spider-Man. Miles also reconnects with Anya in this episode. Miles apologizes again and the series ends on a kiss between the two as everything is wrapped up. However, it's not over. Madam Web appears at the end to Miles and tells him that a threat is coming. And it's not just universal, it's multiversal. So thank you guys for watching this video. If you did enjoy, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you want to. Make sure to hit the bell next to the subscribe button to make sure to not miss out on any notifications and upcoming events, premieres, uploads, updates, anything that I post. If you guys are interested in this content, as you can see, there is a little cliffhanger to this series. However, there will not be a season 2 of The Ultimate Spider-Man. This is a one-time thing, a one-time spin-off series, and that's why it was a short 8-part series. It wasn't like a big, 13-episode banger like I usually do, because that would have taken a lot longer than 2 weeks to make. But this is just an 8 short part series, and there is going to be a part 2 in essence, but it won't be a season 2 to the Miles story. Miles will actually be included in a very bigger, broader story. Yes, this Miles right here will be included in a broader story, which I'm bringing out very soon. I can't talk much about that just yet though, but you guys will have to wait and find out. With that being said, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.